Good morning and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chum Change. This is live and recorded for anybody that might be new here. What we typically do is go over crypto news in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's here in the chat and then we'll get into it. Mr. Steven Cicero. Thanks for coming back, buddy. Perfect. We got Crypto KJ here. Let's see. Morales, if that's how you say your name, I apologize if I just butchered that. We have Andrew Masad in the house, Scott Sheffield, Nick K, good to see you. Chris, let's see who else. Sustainable Crypto, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Black Hat Team, Crypto KJ, dude, thank you for the gifted membership before I even went live, dude. Thank you so much, appreciate that. We have Dan R. Actually, Chris Hanley got the gifted membership. Congrats, Dan R. What's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Let's see, Dakota Miner and Backwards Miner, thanks for being first, buddy, appreciate you. All right, let's get into this and see what we're looking like today over here. Bitcoin, 62,207 bucks in the red. Honestly, we're still holding up pretty decent. Ethereum is under 3,000 bucks by a couple bucks, like $4. Crazy. $2,996. We have Solana at 145 bucks, XRP at 52 cents, LTC 80 bucks. I think that's a steal, to be honest. Caspa is up on the day, 11 cents as of right now, 11.3. We have, let's see, nothing else really popping out at me, but we have AVAX is down 6.11% to $34. We have ETC at 26 bucks, almost 27. It's 26.82. Render actually took a little bit of a spill, I noticed. It's actually, I noticed it a little bit lower than that, actually. I checked my Coinbase this morning, and yeah, I don't know if it's actually, I guess it's 10 bucks still, but who knows. I think Coinbase is showing like 950 or so, which was kind of crazy. But anyways, yeah, nothing really jumping out at me. It's just kind of whatever, kind of day. Let's see what we're looking like. Ooh, look at this. Dog with hat gets hammered, 12.5% down on the day. Anybody still holding on to this? $2.89. It's still crazy, to be honest. It's still crazy that it is a $2.8 billion market cap. Freaking wild. Caspa's up 1.9%, 11 cents, 11.4. We have WorldCoin down 4.8% today to $5.86. Pepe is down 6.3%. We have BitTensor down 12% to 387 bucks. Good morning, Crypto Craig, good to see you. We have Rune over here up 7.8% on the day, $5.66. Looks like that is the winner of the day. We have Athena to 92 cents. BCH down 5.3% to 454 bucks. Man, it's crazy. This thing was like $700 about a month ago. Nuts. Everything's really taking a hit. All these meme coins, huh? What's going on with the meme coins? Strange, very strange. Anyways, Dogecoin is down to 14 cents, 14.7. We have Singularity Net down to 93 cents, down 7.2% on the day. Injective is down 6.7 to $23.75. All right, flashbang, let's see what we got. Fear and Greed Index, let me just refresh this. Yep, 64. This is pretty good. To be honest, guys, again, we need a reset, right? This thing has been screaming off the charts like a month ago, right? Extreme greed last month. So this month I'm expecting it to be complete shit. Like, we need to have this thing kind of float around here and see the price come down and get the candles that we need to get to continue on an upward trajectory, if I could say that word properly. All right, moving on to CoinGecko. Let's see, trending coins looking like Turbo, whatever this is. Turbo, huh? Is that a meme coin? I assume. We have that's actually down 7.5%. We got Mode up 3.4%, whatever that is. I have no idea. It's at 5 cents. And Maniki, if that's how you're supposed to say that, 11.7% down on the day. Terrible. Let's see. Market is down because people are scared that Mt. Gox confiscated funds will drop on the open market. I think it's $9 billion worth. What? Crypto KJ, what? Is that right? Is that right? Are you serious? Well, now I'm gonna have to look at Cointelegraph while we're watching the first clip. All right, anyways, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, XRP, Lido staked Ether, Dogecoin, and Toncoin still in 10th place. Cardano, $15 billion market cap, is in 11th. Man, Toncoin's still almost out of 20 billion. That's crazy. Crazy. All right, let's see. We got Avalanche. Look at this in 13th. Shiba's still holding up really well in 12th place. at a $13 billion market cap. I still think we have a, you see, like, I don't know, I guess they're burning tokens. There's a bunch of shit with Shiba, but I don't know. I have literally 100 million, I believe. Yeah, I think it's 100 million, and I think it was worth like 4,500 bucks. I totally should have sold it a couple months ago, month and a half ago maybe. But right now it's like, I think I looked today, it was like 2,300 bucks. So yeah, hopefully we can get back up to the 45. That'd be nice. But I think we have a nice jump coming when all the altcoins pop off. I think we're gonna see a rise. Pretty much rising tide raises all ships, right? So we're gonna have to see what happens there. But Litecoin, I think, is a steal right now. 80 bucks. It's actually really cheap. Let's see. Again, going to the max, you guys can see 2017, 2021, those are both bull runs. 2024 is coming. We're down 80%. Might be a good idea. 410 bucks is the all-time high. Easy 3x in my opinion. You guys do what you want. Render, yeah, I guess it's over 10 bucks again. Nice. That's good. It did it was up yesterday, almost 11 bucks. $10.81. Actually, Render's just been kind of going up pretty decently. I almost sold out yesterday too, just to buy back in a little bit lower, but I guess it recovered pretty quick. Yeah, it was down to like $9.50 or something over on Coinbase. Weird. But man, Coinbase fees are ass to just like sell and buy. Like, you can't even put a limit order in without them charging you like a ridiculous amount of money. It's crazy. But like a limit buy is like half the price. It's like half the fee. It's weird. I don't understand it. Anyways, I gotta find a new like trading platform, or like just a real platform that I can use and trust. I don't know. Does anybody, can we use Femex here in the States? Does anybody know? Let me know in the chat. Crypto Craig, what's up, dude? I mean, sorry, Crypto Craig. Crypto Frank, what's up, dude? Good to see you, buddy. Let's see, what else? Caspa, let's see what we're looking like. Again, looking at the max chart overall. Man, we're still in this descending wedge, or it seems like. Anyways, maybe we're gonna break out soon. We'll see. We will see. Who knows? A lot of things coming for Caspa, guys. Anyways, I gotta make the show quick today. We're gonna move on to the mining segment of things. Let's see. We're looking like over here. We got Crypto KJ dropping stuff in the chat. Hold on. Before I get into that. All right. What is this? What is this, Crypto KJ? This is a big risk for Bitcoin. And it, what the hell? And it could come soon. That's the imminent transfer of the Mt. Gox coins. Over $9 billion BTC could be hitting the market. Really? So will they sell? Let's dig in. Let's see. The Mt. Gox coins have been a concern hanging over the markets for several years. Creditors who lost coins in the hack have been waiting for years to get some of their assets back. 142,000 Bitcoin, 143,000 Bitcoin cash, and I don't know what this is. 69 BN yen. Is that billion? What's BN? I don't know what BN is. Sorry, pardon my ignorance. I don't know what that means. Anyways, yen are expected to be paid back. What's I don't know what BN is. Please let me know what BN is. Somebody in the chat. What does BN stand for? Because I don't know. Just billion? Is it supposed to be billion? I don't know. I guess. Anyways, I guess we'll see what happens with that. Interesting. Thank you, Crypto KJ. All right, moving on to the mining segment of things. Let's see. KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit, make it 86 bucks a day. 86.47 to be exact. We have the KS5 20 terahash unit making 82.35. The KS5L is in third place with 12 terahash unit. This is $45.57 a day. We got the AL box. This is the Lithium Gold Shell box. 360 gigahash unit, 180 watts, 21 lithium a day, making $44.57. Honestly, it's still doing pretty good. Let's see. What's lithium at? I mean, we could just do the math, but $2.10. Man, this is really taking a decent hit. Man, you guys were all giving me shit when I sold it like up here. It was like $2.50 or so, $2.70 maybe. I sold like $1,000 of it. It wasn't even much. It wasn't even much, but I took some profits because why the hell not? But I'm shocked this thing's still holding. I can't wait to see what happens when the next miner comes out. What happens to this box? We have the IB-Link BMKS Max 11 terahash unit at $38.85 a day. The WinMiner K9 10.3 terahash unit making $38.20. We got the ice server KS3 8 terahash unit making $28 a day. The X16P, I still think this unit's too expensive, but making $24.09 a day. Not too bad. That's 5.8 gigahash unit mining ETHW and ZIL is most profitable. We got the KS3M 6 terahash unit making $18.71 a day. That's terrible. That's really I wouldn't say terrible, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Let's see, the Antminer L7 9050 is what I got down at Terra Hosting. Shout out to them, paying 10 cents kilowatt hour, still making $11.53 after electricity. That's crazy for a 3-year-old plus unit. That's nuts. I can't wait to see what happens with the L9 when that comes out. I wonder, you know what, I was listening to the Mining King and Hawk last night, and they were talking about they don't think Hawk said he didn't think the L7s are really going to come back on the market, like as in people selling them to buy the L9. I think he's probably right. I don't think we're going to see a plethora of these things being sold when the L9 comes out. I think people are just going to keep it because it's still stupid profitable. Why wouldn't you? Like, it's dumb not to keep it. You know what I mean? But hey, sign me up. If anyone wants to get rid of one, you let me know, because that thing's sick. And it's worth the money. It's worth its weight in gold for sure. All right, we got the ice server KS2. Oh god, 2 terahash unit making $6.08 a day. Bruh. I think it was in the 5s yesterday, but it's still pretty bad. That's a 2 terahash unit. We got the KS1 1 terahash unit making $3.04 a day. Bruh. That's terrible. L7's doing great. It is. Let's see, little man Lou said, I was telling Hawk you got to get involved in the lithium ecosystem. I've already had a few wins that have 10x my lithium bag. Nice. What do you I bought some meme coin on the lithium ecosystem. I think it was like dog with bat or some bullshit. I forget what it was. I don't know. I did it because of DJ actually, and I haven't looked in my wallet since, so I don't know if it popped off or what happened. But what are you talking about as in the ecosystem? What are you purchasing? Let me know. Interested to know. Let's see, what is this? Biocal Giant, is that how you say that? A2000 2 gigahash unit, 450 watts. BCD, what the hell is it? Oh, Bitcoin Diamond, is that what that is? $1.64 a day. What is that? Huh, strange. Anyways, let's see. Scrolling down, KS0 Pro, you know I got these in the solar trailer, 66 cents a day at 10 cents per kilowatt hour, so I should be making a decent amount more. Actually, you know what, I had a call yesterday with a specific company. I'm not going to mention it here just yet, but I'm trying to do a partnership with them to upgrade my solar trailer, so I should be getting a new inverter and rack mounted batteries and all that stuff, so I'm super excited about that. Be able to pump 240 into my trailer, which would be amazing from solar alone. We got the ice server KS0 original unit making 29 cents a day. That's pretty terrible. That's really terrible actually. Let's see. All right, S19K, come on, I'm up for disappointment today. I'm gonna throw up. Let me see. It's not that bad, it could be worse. We got the S19K Pro 120 terahash unit, still losing 79 cents a day. Damn it. All right, moving on. All right, let's check out GPUs. Can't take any more disappointment today. This is terrible. We got the RTX 4090 Ironfish and Pyron, and Nexa's on the top of the charts. Actually, Nexa was popping off yesterday. Like literally everything was profitable, or all these top cards anyways. We got the 170HX Ironfish across the board, Vortex on the 4080, as well as Ironfish and Pyron. I wonder if Ironfish is really going to carry us GPU miners. I don't know. It's unfortunate, but it might be a thing. Good morning, how's it going? I've changed my profile here in YouTube. Nice, man, nice. Organom Zero, is that how you say your name? I apologize, I just butchered that, but what's up, dude? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. All right, let's see. Near for the 3090 and the 7900 XTX. 3070 laptop, same thing. Please don't mind on laptops, it's probably a bad idea. You're gonna burn shit. What is this? What is Kiro A5000? What is this? Kiro coin? It's a Firo Pow token. What is Kiro? Is anybody mining that? I've never even heard of that until right now. Never seen it. And Nirmata is the Ner. Frog Pow coin. Interesting. All right, let's move on. Moving on. Crypto KJ, dude, thank you so much for the $2 euro super chat. RIP S19K. Buy the kids a sandwich. Ramen for dinner, 100%. All right, let's see. Any new coins? What do we got on the list? Ooh, we got a new one. 7 days ago, apparently. Yes Power is Quest Chain. No, did I say this yesterday? We had this one yesterday? And I don't remember this guy. What the hell is this? Techie Chain? Let's say that's Ghost Rider coin. Interesting. What is Quest Chain? Oh, this is the CPU coin. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Yes Power. Yeah. We talked about this yesterday, I think. Interesting. And then the Carlson Hash coin. Nice. Consensus coin is that one. If anybody's mining it, let me know. I'm buying all S19Ks anyone is selling. If anyone is selling, good for you, man. Good for you. Again, thank you, Mr. Crypto KJ, for the super chat. You're also keeping the stream alive. Caveman, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right, events calendar. Let's get onto this, guys. Again, all proof of work coins. If you go to those sites, please be careful. Don't download stuff unless you're in a VPN controlled environment. You know the deal. All right, Keva coin. 4 days from now, block reward 500 to 250. We have Pyron going through their 5th inning, 17 to 14 Pyron in 13 days. In Ethereum Classic, guys, we're going to see hopefully some price appreciation for this one. $2.56. I'm sorry, 50. What am I saying? What am I saying right now? 2.56 block reward to a 2.048. Man, I am tired. Not enough sleep last night. All right, Octaspace went through their halving recently, actually, and we've been seeing a price rise in that. Let's see if I could spell right. Let's see. Octaspace. The only thing that sucks about Octaspace is not easy to swap. You have to like actually put it to a an exchange and sell it and buy, obviously, on your own through like Trade Ogre or something. But $1.64 as of right now. It's the last 7 days. You guys can see it was down about $1, so it's up like it was up like 75 cents over 7 days, which is pretty good, right? Overall, not too bad. Let's see. Yeah, I got money on my mind, clearly. no, I've been doing a lot of crap and haven't slept much, to be honest. Last night I didn't get any sleep. All right, let's see. We're gonna move on to the news segment of things, guys. I am tired and I'm done talking. All right, crypto talent leaving the US. Delta blockchain founder says, let's see what they got to say over here on Bloomberg Television, guys. Hit that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
If you were to look across the landscape right now at all the publicly traded companies that are in the space, which one do you think is most susceptible to SEC enforcement or regulatory risk?
I think if you look at crypto space, like we recently got a bunch of Web2 companies actually getting it, like Robinhood. I think I don't see susceptibility, I would say, for the word. The reason for that, to be very honest with you, would be where is the definition? I think all we're going to see a lot of noise and a lot of these companies really pushing back on SEC. And given the time horizon of the election, which everybody is looking at, where is this SEC and what is the mindset going to be? I don't think we're going to have any clarity on it at all. And if I have to pick one company, honestly, I feel that would be unfair because everybody is getting Wells notices based on the same thing. Hey, you may be trading security, but what are those securities? Have you clarified anything on it? It's still a question mark. There is no clarity on it. And so there are no answers to it. Said that, with Bitcoin being very clear and having so many ETFs, I'm not expecting ETH ETF this year for sure, given the government, given the SEC stand. But
whoa, did anybody else hear that? Just not expecting the ETH ETF. Damn it.
Does that make any of the traditional hedge funds who
I'm gonna be honest, neither was I.
have been holding ETH on their balance sheet a question? I personally don't.
Eventually. But it's probably not going to happen.
What about for developers? If you're sitting here looking to develop on one of the existing chains, and there's so much uncertainty around how they'll be treated from a regulatory perspective, how much risk does that create, particularly because it could limit the amount of capital that could flow into those projects?
Yeah, so we are seeing, and I've been talking about this for over 2 years, we are seeing massive movement, brain drain, I would say, a lot of amazing talent leaving US when they're building on the blockchain crypto space. And I think we're going to see a bunch of it if the AI data regulations, which are also clamping down on on the same direction. But in the blockchain crypto space, whether you're building on Bitcoin, whether you're building on Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, we are continuously seeing major tech talent moving to places like Dubai, Lisbon, Hong Kong, Singapore, and not having US, definitely not with respect to registration or even sharing in that tax dollar, just on the fear you are legal in the rest of the world, but you are in a gray area in one country for no reason, for changing nothing. And I think that should be a very big worry for the US economy.
Oof. All right, moving on. Layer 2 DeFi driving interest. Let's see what Galaxy Digital's Thorn gotta say. Is that his name? Thorn? All right, let's see.
Which presidential candidate out there right now is best for the crypto community?
I think in general, any kind of change in posture at the major market regulators would be beneficial, whether that comes due to retirement or a new administration coming in
or being fired
into office. I think it sort of remains to be seen. I think even in the case that the current administration stays, we're likely to see some changes that are beneficial. You've got bipartisan support in Congress for changes in the way regulators have approached this industry. But there's no doubt that Republican allies in the House and in the Senate are more favorable to digital assets.
So essentially you're saying anyone who's there, apart from who's there right now, would be an
Dude, this guy does have like Mr. Potato Head glasses. You guys are giving him shit in the chat. I honestly didn't even look at his face. That's a riot.
improvement.
I mean, look, I think it could improve in any case, but the prior Republican administration was more amenable, and I think now you've seen, whether it's from candidates for the Republican nomination, independent candidates, there's a swath of candidates across the sort of whole ecosystem, even Democratic challenger, that are more favorable to digital assets than the current administration.
Alex, how do you think about how this all impacts kind of projects moving forward? If we're thinking about all the uncertainty in the industry, you're saying Bitcoin is kind of exempt right now from a lot of that uncertainty. Does that just create more money flowing into Bitcoin? And what is the case for that? I mean, you've seen kind of Bitcoin level off here and really limit itself in terms of how much more interest can be drawn in the wake of the advent of the ETF and in the wake of the halving. What's the next catalyst? And is Bitcoin being suppressed at these levels kind of a cap on how big the industry could grow?
Pointed question. I appreciate it very much. I think that we've had such an extreme rise. I mean, Bitcoin's up over 280% since January 23. It's up over 50% this year. It's reasonable for any asset that has risen that much to cool off a bit. Frankly, I mean, it's almost...
I think that's like the biggest thing people need to understand, that it's okay that we're having a pullback. Like, we need it. It's risen. Look how much it's risen. Like, legit. It's crazy.
Humorous, because I was on the show over a year ago, and we were talking when Bitcoin was about $22,000 about the prospects. Obviously, a lot can change for Bitcoin. From Catalyst standpoint, you have these advisor platforms and wealth management platforms that really haven't turned on selling Bitcoin ETFs on an unsolicited basis yet. When we predicted in October that there would be 13 or 14 billion in net inflows into these ETFs, that was solely relying on those wealth management platforms and advisors. And instead, we've seen about that much come in pretty much through brokerage trading platforms. So I think you'll see a lot more interest. Obviously, the macro situation is part of that. I think if obviously with rates and if we see some easing on the monetary side, risk assets in general will benefit. I think broadly to the first part of your question, I think, you know, when you think of what Bitcoin developers and the ecosystem are working on now, it's getting much more interesting on layer 2s, on DeFi. I think that could drive
Bitcoin ETFs top 60 billion at peak. You think that's going to be it?
More interest in the sort of Bitcoin investment case beyond simply Bitcoin as digital gold or a scarce, you know, non-sovereign monetary asset. But I think that core case remains very strong. I would say it is stifling, to the prior guest's point, some builders and investment in the U.S. That being said, in Q1, I think over $2.5 billion was invested by venture capitalists into 600 plus crypto-related deals. The vast majority, I should say the vast plurality of both deals and dollars invested in companies founded and headquartered in the United States. So the U.S. is still the leader. Policymakers just need to be wary that they don't stifle what could be major innovation for the future.
Oh boy, that ended quick. All right, shout out to them. Let's see. Anthony Pompliano over here on Yahoo Finance. Let's see why the Fed is the greatest Bitcoin proponent. Let's see what he says over here, guys. That like button. Appreciate you for hanging out.
Bitcoin hovering around $63,000 today as volatility for the asset escalating as investors question when the Fed will begin cutting rates. We're actually seeing a move to the downside in Bitcoin here, but it's still up over 40% so far year to date. Joining us to discuss, we have Anthony Pompliano, Pump Investments founder. Anthony, thanks for being in studio with us.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
So we are seeing obviously a lot of volatility around Bitcoin, but still at 200-day moving average highs. What does it tell you about the momentum for Bitcoin moving forward?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people get distracted by the day-to-day price, right? It's a volatile asset, but really the volatility of it is the US dollar exchange price. So it's how many dollars are people willing to depart with in order to get a Bitcoin. But
real quick, Dan R, dude, thank you so much. You just sent me a Solana. Dude, you're insane. Perfect. You're insane. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry that I can't get these alerts to work, but OneUpCoin just can't figure it out for some reason. I don't know why.
What we have continued to see over the long run is that Bitcoin is probably the most desirable asset in the world. And so people around the world continue to buy this thing. And that's why you're seeing that 200-day moving average, right? Kind of these longer term trends continue to go up. And now with the ETFs getting approved, you not only have retail investors, family offices, a couple of corporations. Now it's coming out that some of the largest RIAs, Hightower just came out and said they bought some Bitcoin. There's sovereign wealth funds, many others that are all trying to buy this thing. So I think that it's a really, really good long-term tailwind at its back.
So you talk about the fact it's a great long-term tailwind. Then where does the price go from here? We're waiting for maybe that future catalyst. Then what is the next thing that's on the horizon?
Well, the Federal Reserve is the greatest Bitcoin proponent possible, right? Because they're going to continue to debase the dollar. And so if you watch that same thing like real estate, right? Real estate in certain markets can go up or down in a month-to-month or year-to-year basis. And so if you're kind of short-term oriented, you're likely to maybe mess up. But if you buy real estate and you hold it for 20 years, very few places in the world have you not seen that real estate go up in value. Same thing with Bitcoin, right? It's got these sound money principles. It's outside the system. No one can create more of it. And it's priced in dollars today. And so if all of a sudden the dollar is losing value and it's only 21 million Bitcoin, somebody is going to have to pay you more dollars in the future to buy that same Bitcoin. And so I think that it really incentivizes long-term thinking. And so the people who are short-term oriented or trying to trade, it's an 80 vol asset, right? I mean, good luck. And so buying it, just holding it and waiting is probably one of the best strategies.
Well, I want to talk about the Bitcoin ETFs and some of the outflows and inflows that we're seeing. Obviously, record-breaking outflows for Grayscale to the tune of almost $17.5 billion. But I know
Jesus, $17.5 billion of outflows. That's crazy. All because of their freaking fees, because they're being greedy. Again, Dan R, thank you so much, man. You're awesome.
They did just recently have their very first week of inflows, so congrats to them. I wonder what story that tells you. Is that something idiosyncratic to Grayscale, or is that indicative of maybe more institutional money coming into the space?
Yeah, look, I think that they knew by not lowering their fee to be competitive with everybody else that people were going to leave. And the calculation was how many people are going to leave and what is it going to make up for in terms of this fee. Now, what's really interesting is their market cap of the AUM that they have is much higher than maybe everyone expected because the price of Bitcoin is up 50%. Right? And so all of a sudden you're seeing that fund continue to grow in size. And that's really blunted a lot of the pain of those capital outflows. Now, what I do think is interesting in terms of the inflows is you got to ask yourself, like, who's buying that, right? If there's these other ETFs available, it's unclear. And until we know who that is, you really can't kind of analyze it. But I do think it speaks to this larger story of like fees matter to a degree, but actually when you're looking at an asset that goes up hundreds of %, the difference between 50 basis points and 150 basis points, it's material, but really the decision is, did I allocate or did I not? That's going to ultimately drive most of the return that you're going to experience.
And give us just a better sense of that institutional involvement. Obviously, we saw a lot of excitement surrounding this, but exactly how this has played out and the fact that it needs to take some time, right, to follow through. So what does that timeline then look like?
Well, I think that you've already seen institutions allocating, right? And so obviously having BlackRock and Fidelity, and I always joke that like Larry Fink is now the CMO of Bitcoin. He goes on TV and talks about a flight to quality. That helps. It's very similar to in 2020 what we saw with Stanley Druckenmiller and Paul Tudor Jones coming out and saying, look, I bought Bitcoin. That reduced that career risk for other portfolio managers. Perfect. And so now what I think you're starting to see is people who have already been doing work. They're like, okay, the ETFs are approved. I see Fidelity and BlackRock. This isn't like a sideshow. This is important to them. They're really going to go do this. Oh, I just heard Hightower's putting money into this. Let's go do the work, right? And the work can be like, literally we're starting from scratch of like, what is Bitcoin, right? And like, how does it work? And let's go read the white paper and things like that. All the way to, hey, we've been trying to understand this for a while now. Now we got to go through our approval process. Let's go bring it to the investment committee. Let's go talk about it. And then even when you get the approval at the investment committee, you still, let's say you have financial advisors, they got to go talk to the clients. right? And so you can imagine going and having the conversation. You may be starting that conversation with like, what is Bitcoin? Why is it important in a portfolio? Here's the research we've done. So there's a lot of work that happens. Now, if we look over the long period of time, call it 18 months, most of that work's going to get done. And so I don't think that it is ETFs get approved, $1 trillion flows in. But I do think that over the next 18 months or so, we're going to continue to see this persistent bid. Happens to line up with a bull market and obviously the halving that just occurred. And so it should push the price much higher.
Well, let's talk about the SEC, because Ethereum, this lawsuit accusing the SEC of considering it as a security, it was called a commodity. The founder now saying it was gaslighting from the SEC. What would you call it? Yeah, look, America has this amazing kind of court system, right? And so I think that one of the things that the SEC has done a great job of throughout decades is when they think that somebody's doing something wrong, they usually go and they try to either negotiate a settlement or they go to court. And what we have seen time and time again is that the SEC historically has been on the right side of many of those cases. What has happened in crypto recently is a couple of people have said, well, wait a second, why don't we use the court system to go say, well, we think you're wrong? And the beautiful thing about America, not very many places around the world, but in America specifically, is that the SEC is going to send their best lawyers. The other groups are going to send their best lawyers. They're going to argue it out in court, and the judge or a jury is going to decide who's right and who's wrong. And so I think that I don't have a strong opinion as to like who is right or wrong. The facts are, if you read both briefings, they kind of have very different tale of what the facts are. But I do think that we've got to find some sort of solace in the fact that the court will decide this. Now, I always have told people in the crypto industry, like they want quote unquote regulatory clarity. Just because you get clarity does not mean you get the answer you want. Right? And so, yes, you want clarity, but actually a lot of times when people say they want regulatory clarity is they're like, but we want it approved in the way that we want. And so I think that we will get the clarity. It's just people have got to be really careful here as to like, okay, if you get that clarity and it's not what you want, how are you going to change the way that you do it? And
that's such a good point that he brought up, because it could really make things go sideways. You have to be prepared for the worst, I guess.
Last thing I would say is just like, if we don't get clarity in the way that I think the crypto industry wants, there is a very real brain drain. There are people who are leaving the United States, and so if we want to be the leader in this kind of innovative field, we're going to have to figure out how to do that, but also have these people operate within a set of rules.
How could the upcoming election impact that regulatory clarity?
Yeah, I think Trump has done kind of a 180. He historically, was very much like, I like the dollar, I don't like anything else. I think Vivek has kind of been in his ear a little bit about Bitcoin. I think at one point he was even on stage and he was like, basically like, Vivek just said it, I should say this out here. Kind of said, he was open to Bitcoin. It's unclear kind of what Biden's personal views are, but it seems like the administration is not as friendly to it. And so,
do you guys even think Biden knows what crypto is? Or would you just sleep through that whole conversation? And dude, Trump had his own NFTs. Of course, he likes crypto, right? There's a way to make money. He's going to want to do it. But at the same time, he's not going to want to devalue the dollar. He has so much of it, right? Why would you want to devalue it?
So I do think that you're starting to see candidates, though, that show up, Vivek, RFK, et cetera, who are very pro-Bitcoin, pro-freedom technologies, et cetera. And regardless of maybe the 70-plus crowd that is running for president today, it's a generational thing. And so what you're going to get is you're going to get people under the age of 40 or 50, like they're growing up with this, right? And so it's kind of like when our generation, there's people running for president, if they don't support the technologies that we grew up on, we're going to be like, you're an idiot, right? And so it's okay for the kind of the older generation because there's that generational gap. But I think just over the long run, old people die, young people replace them, young people grow up with these technologies. It's going to be kind of the standard.
How confident are you that we're going to get some clarity here?
Well, they have to get clarity at some point, right? Because basically what the crypto industry has done is they've basically pushed the issue, right? And they've just started launching things. They've started doing stuff. And so obviously if you're a regulatory body and you disagree with it, you don't like that. So you're going to bring enforcement actions. You're going to go try to drive clarity. Now, there's questions about should we be doing that through a legislative process or through an enforcement process? Again, that's for people much smarter than me to figure out. But I also think that what we are playing is a global game of competition as well, right? And so, an interesting data point is that the stablecoin issuers are now, I believe, one of the top 17 buyers of U.S. Treasuries. And so when you look at that, you say, okay, well, it used to be that China and Japan bought 22% of all U.S. Treasuries. Well, we got a pretty big federal debt, right? We're issuing a lot of debt, and so obviously we need people to buy that stuff. China and Japan went from 22%, now they're only 7%. So if they're going to stop buying, or at least buy less of these bonds, who is going to be the new buyer? Well, stablecoins have actually showed up. And so my prediction is that the stablecoin issuers collectively will end up being kind of top 10 U.S. Treasury buyers in the world. If that happens, all of a sudden that is systemically important. Right? We need these people to buy this debt. And so,
wow, that's a crazy point.
I think there's a lot of nuance and intricacies here that we've got to kind of figure out. And you can't just bring a hammer down on an industry, specifically if they're one of the biggest buyers of U.S. Treasuries, and it's a time where we're spending, like crazy people. And so it's how do you enforce rules, but also not kind of screw up the positive aspects. And I just hope that they get it right.
Damn, shout out to Anthony Pomp for that. That's crazy to think about, actually. Weird. All right, let's move on. SEC Chair Gensler says investors don't get needed disclosures for crypto assets. Let's see what they got to say over here on CNBC Crypto World. Let's do it, guys. That like button. Appreciate you.
Today, Bitcoin and Ether hold their ground after yesterday's losses. SEC Chair Gary Gensler joins CNBC's Squawk Box to talk about the Wells notice the agency sent to Robinhood. And Dave Weisberger of CoinRoots discusses how the regulator seems to be stepping up its enforcement of the crypto industry.
Every time I hear Gary talk, he's just so full of shit. Like the whole time.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Brandon Gomez. Cryptocurrencies were mixed this morning after spending Monday in the red. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin stayed pretty much flat, trading high.
Hold on, we're gonna see what Bitcoin's at right now. I think it's 62. Yeah, 62,115.
By only 0.1%. Ether was in the red, but only by a little more than 0.5%. XRP, though, down further, falling about 3.5%. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Binance CEO Richard Teng is calling for the release of a Binance executive currently held in Nigeria. In a blog post this morning, Teng said the detainment of Tigran Gambaryan has set a dangerous new precedent for all companies worldwide, and that Gambaryan didn't go to Nigeria as a decision maker or negotiator. Instead, Teng says the executive went as a functional expert in financial crime. Gambaryan was detained alongside another Binance executive, Nadeem Anjarwalla, who fled Nigeria earlier this year. Authorities in the country accused Binance of non-payment of value added and company income taxes, failure to submit tax returns, and aiding tax evasions by customers. Next, Australia is reportedly stepping up efforts to crack down on evasion of capital gains taxes for crypto. Reuters reports the Australian Tax Office requested information regarding 1.2 million accounts to crack down on users avoiding taxes. The ATO reportedly said the information will help the agency find traders who failed to report crypto assets or when they sold it. On Monday, the Australian Financial Review reported that as part of a surveillance effort announced in April, the tax agency said it would require crypto exchanges to provide information, including names, birthdays, and transaction details. Last, SEC Chair Gary Gensler joined CNBC's Squawk Box this morning, where he responded to a question about the agency's Wells notice to Robinhood. On Monday, the trading app disclosed that the agency sent the letter over the weekend, warning the SEC could soon pursue enforcement actions over Robinhood's crypto operations. Gensler was asked what investors who use Robinhood should know about the agency's recent enforcement actions, including that Wells notice.
I can't speak to any one company.
How many times has he said that? Can't speak to anyone. But yet he singles out people all the time.
But stepping back from it, the field of crypto assets, without prejudging any one of them, many of those tokens are securities under the law of the land as interpreted by the U.S. Supreme Court. So we follow that law. And you, the investors, are not getting the required or needed disclosures about those assets.
At the same time, research firm KBW said in a report that Robinhood is more likely to win in a case against the SEC than its competitors. The report called the Wells notice, quote, surprising, given Robinhood's historically very conservative approach to crypto asset listing.
Yeah, they're like the golden boy, right? Besides Coinbase, right?
An offering of only 15 crypto assets on its US platform. That's compared to some others, which KBW notes have more than 200.
Crazy.
All right, sticking with Robinhood for our main story. We spoke with Dave Weisberger, executive chairman of CoinRoots, about that Wells notice to Robinhood and what the SEC's growing list of enforcement actions will mean for the industry at large.
Let's see.
So Dave, we had this blog post from Robinhood come out saying it's received a Wells notice for its crypto operations. I think a lot of people were caught off guard by this. KBW even said in a report this morning that the move was surprising. What's your reaction to this development? Is it actually surprising to you?
Well, I wish I could say I was surprised, but it's a continuation of an SEC pogrom basically against the crypto industry. Effectively, people talk about the word regulation, but it's not really regulation that they're after. They're really after prohibition. They're really doing everything they can. If you think about it, if you're a average investor, you're not accredited. They're going after Coinbase, they're going after Kraken, now they're going after Robinhood. They're basically saying you shouldn't be allowed to own what's been one of the best performing asset classes, period.
They're trying to control it. That's pretty much what's happening.
Moreover,
that's it.
The SEC is not supposed to be a merit-based regulator. They're supposed to make sure there's good disclosures. And there's actually more information about most crypto projects, certainly the ones that Robinhood lists, than there are about quite a few other assets. So it's just more of the same. I wish I could say it was something else, but it's really, a war. And, one can speculate as to why, but it seems fairly clear what's going on here.
And so on that point, what do you think the SEC's thinking is here? They've gone after a lot of crypto native businesses like Coinbase and Kraken, but this is perhaps a little different given Robinhood's limited role in crypto compared to its stocks business. What's the motivation in your view?
There's only one motivation. I can't think of anything else. Now, maybe there's something else. Maybe smarter people than me could figure something else out. It's to essentially try to push crypto out of the United States, push digital assets. Look, Mackenzie, I like everyone, when I talk to people in the crypto industry, and at CoinRoutes, we talk to just about everybody at a senior level, we all believe that the future of capital markets is going to be digital. And we think that crypto is incubating many of the market structure ideas, many of the technologies that are going to be essential to compete in capital markets in the next 25 years. And the SEC is trying to push it offshore. The only one possible reason for that is to protect incumbents, protect people who are effectively the best damn buggy whip manufacturer, to use Danny DeVito's old line, but the people who are basically defending the analog financial system that relies on paper tickets sitting in a vault underneath 55 Water Street. That's the only thing we can think of. Elizabeth Warren is the leader of the anti-crypto army. And effectively, while she likes to yell at the big banks, she's been protecting them. She's even let the big banks help write rules that she's proposed. So it really is that simple. I wish it wasn't, because crypto should be bipartisan. It should not be a partisan issue, but it has become one.
Mm-hmm.
SEC Chair Gary Gensler came on CNBC today and talked about the agency's strategy in crypto, really doubled down on the idea that the crypto industry is rife with non-compliance and that the agency really has to be the cop on the beat to crack down. Where do you think the industry stands in terms of cutting off bad actors, or this idea that there is widespread violations of securities law?
Well, there's 2 points here. First, I actually think it would be a great thing if the SEC was the cop on the beat. If they actually did focus on enforcement on cases where there was provable harm. I think that the industry is cheering.
That was perfectly said. Perfectly said.
For the SEC in the Do Kwon case, for example. And maybe not cheering because they're going to try to use it as a precedent to go after other people. But the fact that Do Kwon was a bad actor, I don't think there's much argument about that in the industry, and people think he should be punished. The problem is what he's actually doing. And it's maybe the only time I've ever agreed with John Reed Stark, who's testifying today in front of one of the congressional committees, used to work at the SEC. He admitted to me I was right, which is that the SEC back decades ago, when he was there, used to focus on cases where there was harm, where investors lost money. But this SEC doesn't care whether there's harm. They're going after more jurisdiction and more technical violations. So if you technically say you're violating securities laws, well, that's true. But what he's not telling you, Mackenzie, is that there is no path to comply with security rule for digital asset issuers or markets. There literally is none. Now, if you look at Robinhood, it's really important to understand. Robinhood is operating their crypto business out of an affiliated non-broker dealer. Well, why are they doing that? That's because FINRA and the SEC have not approved any broker dealers offering crypto as non-securities. As a result, programmers, I tweeted this, a couple days ago, we call this a deadly embrace. You're literally, there's no way through. If it's a security, then there's no path for making it work. And if it's not a security, they're not allowing them to do it. So effectively, they're bogging it down, and they're standing on ceremony, basically.
It's crazy.
How are you thinking about the current regulatory regime for your business? Does the SEC's view of the industry play into how you make decisions at your company?
Absolutely. Well, there's two things. We stayed a software company. 5 years ago, our plan was to register with FINRA and become an introducing broker, trading non-securities, or if any digital assets became securities, to trade them. The reality is we couldn't do it because there's no path to doing it. So we're a pure software provider, which limits our profit potential for sure. You know, we stay out of the client flow of funds. We don't do any of that. We offer algorithms. We offer trading access. We offer professional investors the ability to do it. But all of our clients are clients of other exchanges. But almost all of our business has moved overseas. And in fact, we're moving overseas as well. We're opening offices offshore. In fact, you know, we're opening up affiliates, in the UAE. Because they have a actual regulatory framework there. So it's definitely impacted us. Every single CEO I talk to, every other company that we talk to, they all are facing the same pressure. It's extremely rare to find a crypto company that isn't either moving offshore, opening up offshore, or considering it. And that's really a shame because America, our economy has benefited immensely from having the best capital markets in the world over the last 30 years. And if all
we're going to lose because of the SEC.
New innovation moves offshore, we're going to lose that. And that would be very sad. As a patriotic American, I really hope that that does not come to pass.
I agree. All right. Shout out to CNBC Crypto World for that. All right. Let's get into altcoin daily video. Over here, is crypto in trouble? Bitcoin Insider reveals what's next. Let's see what they got to say over here. We already watched this clip, but let's see what he says about it.
You've seen kind of Bitcoin level off here and really limit itself in terms of how much more interest can be drawn in the wake of the advent of the ETF and in the wake of the halving. What's the next catalyst? And is Bitcoin being suppressed at these levels kind of a cap on how big the industry could grow?
Bitcoin's price has leveled off. Is Bitcoin being suppressed at these levels?
Of course it is.
With the Bitcoin ETF launch and Bitcoin halving behind us, is there a cap on how big Bitcoin can grow?
But at the same time, things aren't just going to pop off because the halving happened, right? People are going to shut off. Profitability is down right now, right? So it's guys, listen, we need it.
Crypto at large. Breaking news: Grayscale just withdrew their futures Ethereum ETF application.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. What in the hell?
What is going on with the SEC going after Kraken, Coinbase, Uniswap, MetaMask, now Robinhood?
Yeah, that's
we
crazy.
need some real answers. Alex Thorne, an insider, Galaxy Digital's head of research, just revealed what's next for this industry. Listen closely.
We're joined now by Alex Thorne, Galaxy Digital head of research. Alex, we were talking with Kavita a little bit earlier about the uncertainties that are created by the regulatory environment, and curious from your perspective on limitations here. You know, stable coins are the closest thing to real money, I guess. But what about everything else being built on these chains?
Yeah, hey, Shanali. Hey, Tim. Great to be back. It's a great question. There's a lot of stuff being built. I think DeFi is still a huge sector inside crypto that has a lot of regulatory uncertainty and a lot of opportunity. I think if you look at where the SEC has been very focused in the US, it's primarily around questions of whether you've issued tokens that they think are unregistered securities or whether you're facilitating the trading of tokens they think are unregistered securities. So effectively acting what they say as an unregistered national securities exchange. This is a huge question for DeFi. I would say most of the inquiries and Wells notices and enforcements that have been brought by the Securities and Exchange Commission don't really touch the Bitcoin world. And so that, I think, uncertainty about the regulatory standing of Ethereum and its applications has contributed to Bitcoin's outperformance during this bull run.
Gary Gensler and the SEC has created a chilling effect on the crypto industry in the US.
It's hard to tell how much of your focus today is on the stock market writ large versus the world of crypto and trying to figure out the future of Ethereum and other things.
Oh, dude, it's all about crypto. This, oh God, he sucks. I hate looking at his face. Just want to throw something at him.
How do you see it?
Well, I see it this way. We oversee a $110 trillion capital market. About half of that's the stock market. Half, as you might know, is the bond markets and other markets. Crypto is a small piece of our overall markets, but it's an outsized piece of the scams and frauds and problems in our markets. Without prejudging any one token, much of this field is non-compliant with the protections of our securities laws.
And with that, we're seeing things I never thought we'd see. Grayscale withdrawing their futures Ethereum ETF. This has confused even the experts. Because you remember, it was the Bitcoin futures ETF approval that was pivotal in allowing the spot Bitcoin ETFs to get approved. So why would Grayscale do this? In my mind, might as well make the SEC write up an approval or denial for an Ethereum futures ETF and go from there. Maybe the SEC spoke with Grayscale about this? Make sure you subscribe. This is a developing story. We keep you updated on everything crypto on a daily basis. Subscribe. So I guess Bitcoin's safe, but the rest of the crypto industry might not be safe? Here, Alex Thorne explains how there is much more Bitcoin ETF demand set to come.
How do you think about how this all impacts kind of projects moving forward? If we're thinking about all the uncertainty in the industry, you're saying Bitcoin is kind of exempt right now from a lot of that uncertainty. Does that just create more money flowing into Bitcoin? And what is the case for that? I mean, you've seen kind of Bitcoin level off here and really limit itself in terms of how much more interest can be drawn in the wake of the advent of the ETF and in the wake of the halving. What's the next catalyst? And is Bitcoin being suppressed at these levels kind of a cap on how big the industry could grow?
Pointed question. I appreciate it very much. I think that we've had such an extreme rise. I mean, Bitcoin's up over 280% since January 23. It's up over 50% this year. It's reasonable for any asset that has risen that much to cool off a bit. Frankly, I mean, it's almost humorous because I was on the show over a year ago and we were talking when Bitcoin was about $22,000 about the prospects. Obviously, a lot.
Real quick, Fully Electric in the chat. Thank you for keeping the stream alive. $5 super chat. You're awesome. He said, good morning, everyone. Just so everyone knows, only security assets require disclosures. So is the SEC saying all crypto is securities except BTC? No Ethereum ETF with an exclamation point? Damn, that would suck. That would suck if we didn't get the ETF of Ethereum. But dude, honestly, like, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think? Is it going to happen? Put it in the chat. Your thoughts. I would love to know. If you think an Ethereum ETF is going to happen. I think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. But that's just my opinion. Probably not going to be this year. Probably next year. But I don't know. We'll have to see.
Can change for Bitcoin. From Catalyst standpoint, you have these advisor platforms and wealth management platforms that really haven't turned on selling Bitcoin ETFs on an unsolicited basis yet. When we predicted in October that there would be 13 or 14 billion in net inflows into these ETFs, that was solely relying on those wealth management platforms and advisors. And instead, we've seen about that much come in pretty much through brokerage trading platforms. So I think you'll see a lot more interest. Obviously, the macro situation is part of that. I think if obviously with rates and if we see some easing on the monetary side, risk assets in general will benefit. I think broadly to the first part of your question, I think, you know, when you think of what Bitcoin developers and the ecosystem are working on now, it's getting much more interesting on layer 2s, on DeFi. I think that could drive more interest in the sort of Bitcoin investment case beyond simply Bitcoin as digital gold or a scarce, you know, non-sovereign monetary asset. But I think that core case remains very strong. I would say it is stifling, to the prior guest's point, some builders and investment in the U.S. That being said, in Q1, I think over $2.5 billion was invested by venture capitalists into 600 plus crypto-related deals. The vast majority, I should say the vast plurality of both deals and dollars invested in companies founded and headquartered in the United States. So the U.S. is still the leader. Policymakers just need to be wary that they don't stifle what could be major innovation for the future.
Alex, what about the recent flows into the ETFs? What are they telling you about the direction moving forward?
I would say that obviously we saw significant outflows over the prior 2 weeks as Bitcoin dipped below 60,000. I don't personally believe that the outflows necessarily caused the dip. I think if you look at the flows versus the daily float on Bitcoin, they're still not really the majority at all. I think you saw some folks take gains perhaps, and that accounts for some of the outflows, but something like 90+% of the capital that came into those ETFs between February and April did not exit last week. So I happen to think that the ETF buyers, particularly later when they're comprised primarily of advisors and wealth managers, will be sort of stronger hands than short-term traders. And I think the outflows showed that.
Bitcoin has clear skies for now. Crypto is being suppressed, in my opinion, but will come back stronger than ever. You cannot keep decentralized permissionless protocols that are open to anybody to use down. Now, the way I see it this year, things are still looking pretty good going into November. This year, 2024, going into the US elections, I'm bullish. And Bitcoin's going to lead us. But the big question on my mind is 2025. To be bullish on Bitcoin and crypto in
All right, who wants to? Go ahead, pick. Left, middle, or right? Which one you want? Anybody but the middle is fine with me.
2025, does it rely on who is elected US president? Who would be a better president for crypto? What do the experts think?
Hey, Alex, the regulatory regime could change in early November with the election. I'm wondering from your perspective, as Galaxy Digital head of research, which presidential candidate out there right now is best for the crypto community?
I think in general, any kind of change in posture at the major market regulators would be beneficial, whether that comes due to retirement or a new administration coming into office. I think it sort of remains to be seen. I think even in the case that the current administration stays, we're likely to see some changes that are beneficial. You've got bipartisan support in Congress for changes in the way regulators have approached this industry. But there's no doubt that Republican allies in the House and in the Senate are more favorable to digital assets.
So essentially you're saying anyone who's there, apart from who's there right now, would be an improvement?
I mean, look,
is that what I'm hearing?
I think it could improve in any case, but
Okay.
the prior Republican administration was more amenable, and I think now you've seen, whether it's from candidates for the Republican nomination, independent candidates, there's a swath of candidates across the sort of whole ecosystem, even Democratic challenger, that are more favorable to digital assets than the current administration.
All right, shout out to them. All right, let's see. What do you guys think? We got time to watch Mr. Michael from Hawk Crypto Mining. You guys want to watch this? Let's see. He was on the news channel yesterday. He was on News Max over here. You guys want to check this out with me? Let's see. Let's see what it's all about. Let's see how he did. This is where we're gonna end off. 4-minute video. Let's see.
All right, we are
Oh,
back.
okay.
Bitcoin,
Oh, there we
as
go.
we were just saying, hit $69,000 recently, beating a previous record set in November of 2021. Gold also at all-time highs now, more than $2,000
See how
an
he did.
ounce, surpassing a previous high met in early December. And now we can get to our guest to talk more about these two things. Michael Zuccarelli, Chief Marketing Officer at Terra Hosting and owner of Hawk Crypto Mining. Michael, I can hear you now, I think. Great to have you with us.
Yep. Hey, thanks, John. Appreciate it.
All right, so tell us, you know, gold has traditionally been a safe haven in turbulent times, but now it looks like Bitcoin could also provide that option. You know, I read one report today that says Bitcoin might go up to $100,000. You think that's possible?
Oh, 100%. I mean, if we look
Whoa,
at, we just went through a halving cycle.
You say
with
100%?
Bitcoin, and
It's 100%. All in on a Bitcoin right now. Hold on, I gotta buy everything. Give me a second.
if you look at the natural progression of the chart and stuff, it's totally possible it can do that. And, you know, there's talk that Bitcoin might flip gold. It's completely possible.
Look at that. CMO at Terra Hosted. That's dope. That's sick. Crypto Frank, this is huge for you guys. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's one thing, too. A lot of us, when we looked at this back in 2021, many of us wishing at that point, when at the previous highs, that we had gotten into the market. But I think at the same time, you started to see more traditional investors take a cold, hard look at this. And you talked about these halving cycles. We've seen several of these before.
Right.
Bitcoin goes up high, it goes back down, but then it goes back and almost doubles where it had been at previous highs. So where do you think, you know, if it's not $100,000, where do you see the next high maybe is?
Oh, he put him on the spot. He put him on the spot asking him for a price prediction. Oh, boy. Let's see what he says.
Well, you know, it's hard to say and it's hard to predict because, you know, after every halving, we've seen a new all-time high. So, you know, we've already hit one this year. I believe Bitcoin got up to about 72, 73. And I really do think we're going to see, we could probably see about 100,000 this year. You know, it's hard to say. No one can predict the markets, but Bitcoin's definitely going to be there. It's a deflationary asset. And, hey, you know, there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin, right? Only ever going to be 21 million. So you can't print it more like we print dollars. So that's just what it's going to be. And then when it's all bought up, then what?
That's the thing that people always talk about. There's a limited supply of Bitcoin, and that limited supply, of course, makes the demand what it is. And this is where we also want to remind people too, Michael, that, you know, go into your financial advisor, say you heard that Bitcoin could go to $100,000, but talk about it with a professional first. Just don't take our advice for it, right?
Correct. Yes, correct. You never want to, don't take the advice, just do your own research and educate yourself. There's tons of great education out there for Bitcoin. And it's not just about Bitcoin, it's also the technology. We want to bring the technology, we want to be on the forefront of that in the United States. It's something we should all open our eyes to.
Yeah, the blockchain technology utilized in a lot of other areas as well besides finance. Just one quick last question for you, Michael. We talked about Bitcoin, but did you see other digital currencies also increasing in value at the same pace as Bitcoin?
Come on, Mike. Let's go. This is your time to shine. Throw them altcoins in there. Say Caspa, Dynex, all the ones we're mining. Don't fuck it up.
Absolutely. With Bitcoin, it's more of a rising tide raises all ships. So when Bitcoin does well, a lot of the altcoins start to do well. But there are some other coins like Litecoin, which usually operate a little opposite. So you got to kind of do your education on it and figure out what it is. The altcoin market is great. A lot of people invest in altcoins. There's a lot more upside in some people's opinions, but Bitcoin is literally the gold standard of cryptocurrency. That's just what it is. A lot of people put it in there. I put money in Bitcoin, and you know, we heard people like Michael Saylor and all kinds of people talk about it. And honestly, you don't even need one whole Bitcoin. I think 0.1 Bitcoin will set a lot of people up good in the future. Not financial advice, but that's just my opinion there.
Yeah,
Mike, you had a chance to pump your bags and you blew it. Could have said lithium. Damn it. Just kidding. Just kidding. Good job, buddy.
You know, take a little bit of money, something you can afford to lose, perhaps, start putting it into Bitcoin.
He
Some
did
of
good.
us wish we did this back in 2022 when Bitcoin was at a low point. But again, it shows it's resilient. It's coming back. Michael Zuccarelli, great to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah,
all
you
right,
know
we
what?
are back. Bitcoin as
that's the same thing. It's just looping. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, look at that. I got all my recordings there. All right, let me put some music on again, and we're gonna recap some shit. Oh, gotta turn this music down now. Move things. Weird how it plays like that. Anyways, all right, let's get into the recap segment of things. I don't know how anybody does that, to be honest. Getting in front of like news stations and stuff. That shit makes me nervous, man. I don't know how Miss Teen Crypto does it. I can't do it. But you know what? I'm happy he said something about Litecoin. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Litecoin's obviously an OG in the space. You know, it's accepted everywhere pretty much. Bitcoin's accepted. It's listen, it does what it needs to do, period, right? So Litecoin, I think, is a very, very good play, and it's a very good buy right now, at least in my opinion. 81 bucks is pretty damn cheap. All right, looking at Caspa, 11 cents still, 11.2. We got Bitcoin at 62,144. Perfect. Still doing well. Ethereum back over 3,000. Perfect. You guys really don't think the ETF's coming? Damn. Are you really going? Yes, I am. Miss Pocket Change. Don't care about rain. I ain't gonna melt. What in the hell? Of course. We get more rocks. Nobody got time for rain. Anyways, let's see. TV is just like my show. Nah, you know what? It's weird, right? For me, I've always had I hate talking in front of people. This is different. Like I'm talking to myself, right? At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you guys are watching, but it's just me here, right? There's no pressure. I don't feel the pressure that I would if I'm you know, even giving a best man speech. I was a best man at my buddy's wedding. I hate it. I immediately start sweating. I hate talking in public. It's fucking weird to me. I can't do it. So you guys have more balls than I got for sure. I couldn't do it. Wouldn't be able to do it. So all you guys. But dude, Mike did a great job. Shout out to him. Definitely ballsy going on that. He got millions of views over there. It's crazy. You and 180 people, you feel the nerves now Game with Smokey Dan. Honestly, it's so different talking here. It doesn't matter. I don't care if 20,000 people, whatever, all 60,000 people watch a video of mine. It doesn't matter to me. That's fine. It's the I don't know what it is, to be honest. The nerves, just the nerves of publicly speaking. I don't like it. It gets to me every time, and it chokes me up where I can't talk. Honestly, you know, when I started my YouTube channel, I struggled with that a lot. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to be on camera. The other one was obviously my business, right? I had a plumbing business, but it was, again, it was the nerves. You had to work over the nerves. And once I got over the fact that like the camera doesn't bother me anymore, it's still the public stuff that bothers me. It's weird. I don't know. Can't do it. All right. Anyways, let's see what's most profitable here in the last hour. Let's see. Ethereum Classic. Look at that. Up 1.6%. This is the top 100 coins. And we got this one. Chile, however you're supposed to say this, is 15. It's up 1.5%. $15. What is this? What is this coin? Look at this. 15 bucks. What in the hell is this coin? Who knows? Where's the website? How do you find the website? Oh, right here. Duh. Literally right in front of my face. What is this? What is this coin? Watch videos, get money. Oh, it's not one of these. Jesus. New social network where you can get real money for content watching. Anybody doing this? What in the hell? What in the hell? I'm scrolling the wheel on my mouse and it's doing that. That's cool as hell. That's so weird. What is this? All right, I'm definitely not endorsing this. I don't even know what this is, so please do this at your own risk. I have absolutely no idea, and I'm not downloading shit, but if it's on the App Store, it should be pretty safe. You'd like to think so anyways, I guess. All right, anyways, guys, that's it. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get back to daddy duty. I have to go take some kids' seats out of my vehicle. Wife needs to take my car today. All right, you guys have a great, happy, and safe Wednesday. We're gonna go raid Miss Randy Hipper. She's gonna be live in about 15 minutes or so. So get over there, at least hit the like button if you guys can't stick around. I appreciate you all. Have a good day. I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out, 100 Air, you dirty bastard. See ya.
Eat shit, Gary.